Greetings! I am No Talent Red Mage and I'm playing Kid Chameleon for the Sega Genesis, or more accurately an emulated version, but that really doesn't affect the end opinion now, does it? For those that care about story, you are a 1990s teen that is too cool for school and spends all of his time hanging around the back alley of an arcade for what I am sure is entirely platonic and harmless reasons. Quite possibly to show off your VHS run-through of Battletoads to any that will listen. One day a new machine is introduced to the arcade, a machine that essentially duplicates the effect of the holodecker right from Star Trek The Next Generation. However, the AI boss of the game becomes self-aware and starts kidnapping children, I guess to use as ransom, and you being the best gamer ever to walk or step in to rescue them. Pretty sure this kind of story is on par for the 90s. Couldn't watch a single cartoon back then without this particular story or one like it popping up. Very 90s-ish story aside, the game does offer something a bit on the unique side, the game's power-ups. See, Kid Chameleon takes note of other games like Super Mario 3 and has your character gain abilities based on various suits throughout the levels. Each suit provides a different power-up, such as Night Power giving you wall climbing ability and breaking bricks with your feet, or the Panzer Power where you get a tank that fires skulls, or even a power-up that turns you into a human tornado. Interestingly enough, all the stages are structured in a way that the power-ups complement one another, or there are multiple ways to finish the stage with different sets of them. Also, be prepared for a long haul. The game contains over 90 stages, and while you can skip some of them via warp system, the game still clocks in over 2 hours long with the warps, and probably close to 5 hours without. Which isn't so much a problem for no-life degenerates like myself, but others don't have 4 to 6 hours to sit down and plow through it. Thankfully, the Wii version of the game has a sort of save state feature for those that don't have the time to beat the game in a single sitting. That said, the game does have drawbacks. Firstly, the game is not exceptionally colorful. The stages seem to have a washed over bare bones look to them, mostly massive shades of brown and blue and green interspersed, but not as bad as, say, really bad games like Awesome Possum. But it's nowhere near as good looking and colorful as, say, the Sonic games. The enemy sprites are also, they lack personality. Very much in the personality department. Most of which feel really generic and just slight variations on one another. It may just be a play on how an actual AI would experiment with variations, though I seriously doubt the thinking of this game went that deep. Sound is also kind of love it, hate it. Oddly enough, this soundtrack sounds really close to Tin Head in style, even so much as ripping a few sections of beats from it. Not sure if both composers worked on this together and one was uncredited. Either way, it's kind of a love it or hate it kind of soundtrack. I'm on the fence about it mainly because it's kind of got irritating tracks, and I'm not sure which composer is possibly stealing from the others in terms of soundtracks, or if they work together. Despite this, it's still a decent enough platformer. It just lacks the overall presentation of much better platformers such as Sonic the Hedgehog or Super Mario World. Also, would like to point out that the 90s teen for a protagonist isn't exactly a good plan for future franchising. He's very much a product of his decade and entirely out of place anywhere else. It would be kind of like putting a greaser as the main character in any game nowadays. People might like it, but it's going to be a little bit odd and not exactly franchisable. It doesn't hurt the game any, it just makes it less memorable than other platformer protagonists like Mega Man or Sonic or Mario. I've been No Talent Red Mage, and this has been Kid Chameleon for Sega Genesis. It's worth a look. I'll see you next time.